Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, the place to G with the one and only S and double OP. So what you gonna do now?
Making no beats again.
Turn that shit up and let it bang.
Come get some work on your free
So
time.
then,
Nico
how
Trenches,
the
we
league
train
works
O-line
is
and
obviously all these
D-line.
teams,
Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you kick that 45, keep your nose on his inside. You better punch something, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3-tech and 1-tech, they some real hard. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all. I said it crazy,
really,
he a snatch
to me,
real aggressive,
the
jump
best
steady trying to
for
grab
Dynasty
something.
League.
If the old don't shoot their hands, you better jab some. You better stab some. Bull, then snatch some. From the youth to the pros, we get it in. If you ain't watching film, you ain't trying to win. If you close the beat gap, then you gotta spin. If you get around the edge, then you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at? Where the lineman at? D tackle, do your dance. D ends, do your dance. Centers, do your dance. Guards, do your dance. Tackle, do your dance. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, TKB. We are back with another episode of Monday Morning Football. Myself and Juice going to get into all kinds of things that are going on. Broncos took a big loss to be expected. Lamar Mahomes had their big matchup to start the season. Obviously, something we think we might see going towards the Super Bowl next year, and all kinds of things. Obviously, Steelers with the big win for Juice and everything else. So he's going to be ecstatic. But we'll bring him up, see what he's got going on. What's going on this morning, brother?
What's
How you
up,
doing?
my man? What's going on? I'm good, man. Bro, it's a perfect Sunday, man. Perfect Sunday. I just want to say, man, like the world is healing because Sunday's back. Sunday football is back, and we still got football tomorrow. So come on, man.
Oh man, it's the best time of year, right? When NFL comes back. Like I'm always like,
Yes.
what do I do with myself? I don't know. I lived for the Sunday nighters, and then you get the Monday and the Thursday after work, and it really just, like you said, the world is just a better place when football's on Sunday. They're probably just keeping us distracted from the world's craziness, but it's working.
Hell yeah, man. It always does. It always does, man. And I'm grateful for it.
I love it. Well, obviously, we're back. We've been on a hiatus for a little bit, trying to dial in the show for the new season, get into a little bit of everything football, dial people in on their fantasy lineups. We know we got all kinds of people that, the degeneracy's beginning again for another season. Everybody's excited for random 27-yard plays, and their wife probably has no clue why. But hey, we got fantasy football players on the line. We got money to win and boys to peak. So we're back, baby.
Yes, man. One thing I wanted to add is I kind of knew the Broncos were going to take an L today.
Hey, yeah. Starting it early. Hey, yeah, right away. I mean, we knew it was coming, though. The boys.
I had to throw some cookies at you real quick, man.
Oh, that's good. It was going to be a miracle if they get into it. I know we'll get into it a little later in the show, but I was hoping to see something miraculous, but I wasn't expecting much. I mean, they've handled that entire team in the last couple of years, but we get right into it. Well, we'll skip right over what the hell you're trying to rub in, and we'll get right into Lamar Mahomes, the first matchup of the week. I want to know what your thoughts were on that game. We got the timer running. We're back. The show's back on the road.
What I want to add to that game, I think both teams did amazing. That's one thing I just wanted to add. But Chiefs, man, Xavier Worthy, that's another guy. I actually have him on my team in one of my fantasies. And
nice.
I didn't expect him to do that much of an expanding job. But one thing I can actually say was he's super fast. And I think he does need a little bit of improving. He is a new player to the league and stuff like that. He's a new kid. He's young. He's got a lot of talent. And I think they found their replacement of Tyreek Hill of what they were looking for. You get what I'm saying? Rashee Rice.
Yeah, he went 18 points, 7 for 9, 103 yards. He didn't get in the end zone. But to me, I mean, Worthy obviously was kind of the standout fantasy player, 21 points. He added 47 yards and a touchdown. But you watch the plays, and he's 2 for 3. Obviously, one big play gets in the end zone. The rush probably caught them off guard. It was another big play. But to me, Rashee Rice was the number one. He had 9 targets. Yeah. He had 100 yards. to me, that's the guy going forward. Yeah. Obviously, Worthy put on a show, but I was the jackass before that told everybody I would wait a week to start Worthy. Let's see what he does. But I also finished it with saying, because I said that, he will absolutely go off. So anybody who listened.
But then you think that because Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown is out, wouldn't you think they would utilize him a little more and stuff like that?
I mean, I guess technically they did on those 3-4 plays. I mean, he's still the rookie. You're going to give it to your guys that have been in the offense for a year or two, like Kels, like Rice. And I mean, they did get it. They weren't in the end zone, but they still got her done. But speaking of Kels, he didn't do a whole lot. I know everyone was kind of drafting him as tight end 1 or 2, him or Laporta this year. Only got 6 points on the night. You expected a little more from him with T Swift in the house, but Chiefs still got the win, so I guess it didn't matter.
He had a good catch, man, and that catch kind of put me up. I was going for a reception on a bet, and that catch kind of put me up one. So that one catch, it was good when Mahomes rolled out and threw him a little. I wouldn't say it was a long pass, but it was a decent pass for a first down. And it was pretty good.
Nice, I love it. I just wanted to check in too on the quarterbacks. Obviously, Lamar Jackson went for 27 points. Another big, huge performance from him. Mahomes, not as big of a fantasy game for him, but Chiefs got the win, which is ultimately what matters in the real world. We're mostly fantasy here, though. So, Lamar Jackson is making his case for being that number 1 quarterback in the league. Just doesn't necessarily have the team around him. But with that said, too, Derrick Henry, I start the game off going, he's in the end zone immediately. We got old Derrick Henry. This is going to be a game. And nothing really more comes the rest of the game. He got 13 carries the whole game. Lamar Jackson with 41 throws, I think 12 or 13 rushes of his own.
Yeah.
I feel like they got to give Derrick Henry the ball more. You see a guy, Joe Mixon, 30 touches last night. And Derrick Henry should be getting 20 touches, get a little bit of stress off Lamar, give him the ball a little more and see if it doesn't open the game up some. I think that's something I thought that was their plan by getting Henry on the team, but we didn't see in that game.
What I didn't expect was Justice Hill, because they were splitting Toten the Rock in the game. And what I would like just how you mentioned, I would expect Derrick Henry to have more touches, now that he's their RB1, and he's on the Ravens, but them bringing out Justice Hill that first week in that first game, I was kind of surprised, because I didn't know he would actually touch that ball that much, and actually most of the times he actually got the ball, he actually did a good play with it, So
it definitely was surprising to see for fantasy people who drafted Henry in the first or second round. Probably bit of a rattle, but way she goes. But we're about to get cut off the topic in a few seconds. Pacheco, 15 rushes, 2 more than Henry on the night, same amount of yards if he finds the end zone. Puts on a little bigger fantasy performance. But I think the biggest takeaway from the game was Isaiah Lakely, 28 points. Not the most likely guy to do it, but he got it done. And Mark Andrews,
that's true.
Points. Everybody's rolling in their grave right now, I think.
Yeah. I was kind of heartbroken, man, at the toe tap.
It was so close within a inch,
that
right?
That would have been the first catch of the season. That would have been a phenomenal catch, man.
That would have been a crazy way to end it for sure. That would have been well, but righteously so. His toe was on the line. I went and joked after. I was like, the Chiefs painted the line an extra 2 inches thick on that end. They're cheating. But, I'm just always looking for a way to try and shut Mahomes down. But no, overall, great game, but no love for Andrews. And speaking of no love, we got quarterback for the Packers, Love, out 4 to 6 weeks with what seemed like an ankle injury early on in the game. Turns out to not be an ankle. We watched the replay. I got a little video we can queue up.
Yeah.
And, turns out to be what looks like a knee. It looks like it popped right out of place too. I'm not sure how long he'll be back or out, but it's kind of like, is there a Packers curse? Obviously Aaron Rodgers leaves. He's broken ankle first week when he goes to the Jets. Now Jordan Love played a good season last year, but the first week the next season, and it's the quarterback from the Packers that's going down early, maybe not season ending, but we really don't know. We'll see how he comes back from that knee injury.
Man, I I was hearing it was near 3 to 6 weeks that I was reading also. That's what I guess the sources of the NFL are saying and stuff like that. He'll be out. As for Curse, I personally think that these quarterbacks need to do better at taking care of themselves, not just on the field, but off the field as well. Because I don't think a lot of these players are just, coming on the field and just getting hurt. I also feel like, they're not actually taking care of themselves when they aren't practicing or in those pads. You get what I mean?
No, that's fair. I've been saying for a while, I'm like, why is there so many torn ACLs, torn this and that? And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're way more athletic, way stronger than I am. But a part of me sits there and goes like, are they doing some yoga? Are they stretching these muscles that they're maxing out? Because these are some of the strongest dudes in the planet. But are they actually like focusing on flexibility and some of the stuff?
I was wondering that too, because I was like, I know they stretch before the game, and I'm like, do they
really
they stretch?
2 hours a day probably you need, right? But we got a little video queued up from someone on Twitter here or on YouTube here, so we're gonna give that a quick watch and see what you out of this play here.
They take the sack. Pitch it back. Jacobs. 8 seconds left. Looking to the sideline. 5 seconds on the clock. One slow getting off the field. He's still down.
You see him. They'll replay the hit here. I think he stayed down for a minute, but they'll replay the hit. And now that we know what we're looking for, you really watch that knee when they make the tackle. You can kind of see that it's what it originally looks like. It's the ankle, but it definitely looks more like a D on second glance.
He's down with 5 seconds left.
I think we're going to see a replay. Maybe not. Oh, we see Willis warming up on the sidelines. Oh, he knows right away. Time to play.
He was ready. He was ready.
There we go. So here's right there. He kind of grabs his leg and then rolls over on it, and boom, right in the knee there. That one's hard to protect yourself from on the field too, though, right? Like, I mean, you got a guy that's 150 or 250 pounds, 300 pounds rolling over onto the side of your leg. That's a tough one, right? But
that one's painful, man.
But
isn't that the MCL?
Well, who knows? Like, right? Like they're saying it's just a knee. Like in a close up, it looks like his knee actually like pops out of place. Yeah. So if it's just a dislocation, that's honestly probably best case scenario, right? Because if it's an MCL or something, like it's probably the season, right? Like that's it. They say 4 to 6 weeks. I'll be surprised, honestly.
Man, that MCL just looks. It's the way it's kind of like it looked like it.
So much pressure down on his ankle and on his bottom of his leg when it happened too. It's just like
it looked like it popped and kind of pop in and pop back out, if you get what I'm saying, or if it's the other way around. But I just hope the kid gets better, man. Oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly. He's coming into what will be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Obviously, Dak just got his contract. Like every contract is just, it's kind of annoying in the NFL. I know we were talking about it. It's like, and I think we'll do a whole thing on it in the future about this contract because I want to get into it and break it down. But these guys it's kind of annoying the way it's structured. It goes both ways. The owners aren't necessarily forced to pay them, so they can walk away early and it's just like making this like, I need to get paid $1 more, I need to get paid $1 more. But you get Love, who's basically one of the highest paid, 4 years, $220 million, $55 million a year. You want to see him play football, and so hopefully he's not down and out, right? And I know one of the things we'll talk about a little later in the show is the roughing the passer rule. I agree with it for the most part for this reason, but on the sideline, not so much. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But it just sad to see, and hopefully he can play with that big contract on the line.
He's not a bad player, man. He's not a bad player, man.
One of the big takeaways before he went down was feeding Jaden Reed 35 points, biggest fantasy performer I'd say so far. So far this weekend, he's been the biggest guy. 35 points, 4 for 6, 138, and 1 touchdown. Big performance. He coming in as the wide right one, and you're going to want to hopefully see that keep going. Can Malik Willis feed it to him next week? Don't know. I might be a little skeptical going into week 2 with Malik Willis as the quarterback. Now, are we?
Has he ever played Friends before?
No, I don't think so. I think we last seen him. Geez, I don't know off the top of my head. For some reason, Tennessee comes to mind, but I could be completely wrong with that. But the one thing I did take from it is Watson 3 for 5, Romeo Dobbs 4 for 7. Pretty good distribution around the team. Everybody was at 4, 5, 6, or 5, 6, 7 passes kind of range. But Reed took made the most of his, going in for 138, almost 140 yards. So good to see that they're firing on all cylinders, and hopefully he is truly back in 4 to 6 weeks. They'll need him.
They have a good team, man, and I think the addition they added with Josh Jacobs, I think I'm just like you, man. I'm kind of iffy about their quarterback replacement. Let's see what he does, because the thing is, like, there's a lot of, like, most of these teams they're going to be facing has a lot of some pressure to bring. So we'll see what this kid got. But with Jordan Love, I just hope he gets better, man. Because he just got paid. I wouldn't want to get hurt. I wouldn't be on the field. And throwing up some numbers up. With the team. But prayers up to him, man.
No, that's fair. We hope to see you back next week. Before we keep going into some of the Sunday night games, I know me and you have been chatting a little bit more and more about CFL and what's going on there. Kind of, I know you're learning a little more about the league. Yeah. I haven't been as up lately, but I think it's our duty as Canadians hosting a football show to bring a little CFL news to the folks here in Canada, right? It's the very least we can do. But it's been a crazy couple of weeks, actually, with the Saskatchewan Roughriders basically haven't won in like 6 or 7 games. They started out hot, and now they're kind of slacking hard. They've fallen apart. But I know one thing you might not be as familiar with is they have every year on Labor Day, it's a Labor Day Classic. So every single year, like, obviously the schedule changes every year, but Labor Day is always Saskatchewan, Winnipeg with Saskatchewan at home. It's every year. It's like a special game. It's a big thing that goes on every year. And then the following weekend, it's called the Banjo Bowl. Saskatchewan plays in Winnipeg. And it's just kind of a customary thing that the league's had on the go for as long as I can remember. Anyways, I guess maybe I should come with the knowledge of when that started. But Winnipeg gets both wins and actually jumps into first in the West, taking those 2 W's, going from 5 and 6. Basically, everybody had a losing record in the West, but now BC and Winnipeg got a couple wins recently and making it respectable. But Saskatchewan quickly fallen out of the ranks, and I got the stats sitting there for anybody who wants to take a look at them. But 7 wins, 6 losses for Winnipeg and BC in the West. And then on the other side of the ball, Montreal winning the Grey Cup last year and just continuing dominance this year, 10-2 record. They're working away. So it's been impressive to watch. But the East was just cleaning up. For at one point about 4 or 5 weeks ago, almost every team in the East was winning record, and then every team in the West was a losing record. It was kind of sad to watch. Obviously, the CFL is a lot smaller than the NFL. We just got 9 squads, but a lot of pride locally for us folks in our hometown teams usually. I know for us Saskatchewan folk, that's kind of, no matter where we live, we kind of gravitate to the green.
All right. The one thing I've learned so far, I kind of, because I see how I kind of teach myself more and more about these teams, is I kind of individual look into them and stuff like that, or watch them.
Nice.
Like the Blue Bombers, for example. Been watching them for quite some time. And also something that I've noticed is like how we talk about, like, we just spoke about Jordan Love, being paid like one of the highest quarterbacks in the league. Like, and I was just looking at some of the quarterbacks in the CFL, like compared to how much NFL pays their quarterbacks is significantly crazy to.
Yeah, I mean, we got the quarterback stats pulled up just below you, but by leading the league in passing yards and touchdowns, keeping, his squad. He came from Calgary and he was elite there and continues his run. But most of these guys need a second job, right? They're getting paid 80,000 or 200,000, or like they're not getting paid millions of dollars. Jordan Love's getting paid more than any team in the CFL and their coaching staff, right? Like, it's a completely different thing. So that's why it's up to us. We got to help grow the sport, get these guys paid a little more, right? Get just like WNBA or whatever, right? We need to bring in the sponsorships for the league, because the guys, I know there's a lot of players in Saskatchewan that, like, they were bagging groceries in the off season and stuff, because, like, they're literally not getting paid enough to be a professional athlete. Like, so it's it's quite interesting, right? And I know through like the CFL, a lot of revenue sharing goes on between all teams, because like Saskatchewan's actually probably one of the highest grossing teams in the league, but yet because of the way it's set up and the revenue sharing, it goes dispersed throughout the league. But I originally was like, why can't Saskatchewan just always have the best team? But they got a few rules to protect that, I suppose.
Yeah, we also have like a lot of U.S. NFL players. I guess some free agents or guys who
just didn't quite make the cut or whatever.
Yeah,
a lot of
came here.
I would say too, CFL, a lot of the best CFL guys end up going to the NFL. It's almost like another college or like an XFL. It's kind of the Canadian breeding ground for football, right? But I don't want to spend too much time on the CFL. We'll get back into the NFL, but I got the running back stats pulled up too. William Steinbach, BC, leading the league in touchdowns. In rushing yards, about to break 1,000 probably next week with we got one guy right behind him with Brody Oliveira, sorry. But it's crazy. William Steinbach only has 2 touchdowns. We got Chris Stavillier that's got leading the league in 10. So the guy with the most yards only has 2 tutties. His teammate actually has more than him. His teammate sitting down there. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but McKee David is actually got 6 rushing touchdowns compared to Steinbach's 2. And same thing. He's not even on the rushing yards list. He's just kind of that guy they used right in the end zone, and he's been jamming them home for BC the last couple of weeks. And then receiving yards, Justin McInnes leading the league in BC as well. They got BC's. They're leading the West. They're leading the leagues in stats. They just hopefully can string together a few more wins and keep it going. But they've been playing some good football the last few weeks. So see if they can keep it running. As Saskatchewan, I don't want to see it, but away she goes. Well, I guess we get right into what you were talking about a little earlier. The Broncos taking their loss this week. Obviously, pains me to see it, but away she goes.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I had high hopes for them. I did bet against them, but I also because I like Bo Nix, man, and I actually wanted to see what he could do. What his actual QB IQ was and how he could, present that and how his performance would be on the field on his first snap of his NFL game. And
started pretty slow, I'd say. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but it started pretty slow. I was by like the third quarter. I was like, okay, he's getting benched. We're done. It's over.
No. Don't quit on him. No, that's the thing. Like, okay, for example. Right? Everybody's expecting when a player comes into the league, they're supposed to excel immediately. I think the average person that comes into the league, some people are going to find and understand the league, like this. And some people, it takes them a bit to develop. But that means they're going to be around here in the league for a while. You get what I mean? Yeah. So with Bo Nix, the reason why I think he's the perfect fit, not just the perfect fit, the reason I think he's a good QB to start is because he's not a guy like he's if he sees pressure, he doesn't get paranoid. Like he doesn't look like he clenches up, he's tensed up, he doesn't know what he wants to do. Like he either knows he can throw the ball away or he has a guy right there. He sees, so. And I've been watching the kid since Auburn days, before he even went to Oregon. And I believe, and Cortland Sutton, I don't think he's bad. He's just not talked about that much, but you throw the ball to him, and he's open. He's going to get the ball. You know what I mean? Like he's good at, I think he's a touchdown machine when he's in the end zone. And another thing that was unfortunate to me, Troy Franklin, I think he was out. He was ruled out or questionable. But that's another guy I actually want to see play, man. I think the Broncos offense really has a potential to do something. Like Vel, I don't know how you say his name, Le'Veal, the receiver you guys have. I think it's like number 17.
Which one?
I think it's like a new Huh?
Who? I'm sorry, I'm not sure who you're speaking of.
Number 17 on the Broncos, I think.
Oh, Devon Vele or whatever.
Yeah, him.
I'm probably not saying it right either, but
I forgot how to say his last name as well. But kid did good today. Kid did good, all right. He did all right today. And
yeah, I mean, good. Before we run out of time, I guess one of the big things is I want to see Javonte get the ball more. I still didn't see a big amount of Javonte like I hope to see. I think going to need to unlock his full potential to give Bo Nix that opportunity to do his thing. Sutton, he showed he had a few pretty good catches a little late in the game to help him move the ball. And I know, like I said, I was ready to give up on Nix early, but he showed a little bit in the fourth quarter, like he was trying to make a comeback. The Broncos got within a score and almost got it done. But it was Pat Surtain who got the big contract done. That was the guy in the back end, hopefully holding it all together. He's literally the best player on the team. So going to need to see those young guys excel in their second year and first year for some of those new guys. Oh, there we go. Well, we get on to your boys. Steelers and Falcons, big game for your guys. Obviously, I'm wearing the jersey today. I thought I'd pull it out. Broncos number 3, Russ Wilson. We got rid of him, thank God. And you guys, thank the good Lord, didn't have to watch him play football today.
Man.
Now, we wish him the best of health, but Justin Fields, QB1, I said it was happening by week 6. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, but whatever. No, it's week 1. Like, I should have called it.
I don't understand how he has a calf injury 1 week, 2 weeks goes by, he has another calf injury. I'm just like, brother, do you want to play?
I mean, he's probably talk about yoga. He's probably thrown down some like yoga positions in the bedroom or something. Because I know if you get into some funky angles, you pull that calf out all the time, straining it a little bit. Maybe he's working.
Listen, man, I used to call Russell the bus because he used to run the ball a lot. Now
he hasn't ran in 3 years. He hasn't ran in like 3 or 4 years.
He's really Russell. He's really Russell the bust. Like
this, or the stranded bus. Bust or stranded bus. Like that was actually my biggest thing watching him play because I went to a couple Broncos games last year and I was like, there's literally wide open like 10, 20-yard runs for this guy, and he will not run. And then and then he's ending it in the worst fashion with like strip sacks and stuff. And it's like, dude, if you're not going to run, you got to definitely protect the ball behind the line.
Yeah, that's true.
But so we're just talking about the only guy that didn't play. But I want to know your thoughts on Justin Fields and how he actually did play coming out in this first game. I know he showed a little mobility and they got away with it.
As a Steelers fan, I don't think he's consistent. That's what we lack. We lack scheme. I think we showed it. Like I think I mentioned that before, and I think we're getting a little bit of improvement of it today. Today really showed you how it was the defense and our kicker who really helped us win that game, as always.
Yeah, I mean, Butker was one of the biggest fantasy performances of the day. Sorry, not Butker, Boswell with what is it, 5 or 6? Was he 6? 6 field goals, right? Oh, he got all 18 points.
He got He got what was it? No, he got 57, 56, and 51.
See, and these guys
that
are
was
just
his long ones.
These guys are just like easy no shot from like anything within 55. They seem to just nail nowadays.
Yeah, and the thing is, like today, George Pickens did really good. I think he was like mainly the only guy they used today, and like they barely use Calvin Austin. We barely use what's his name, Van Jefferson. Is that his name? Barely use him, and we threw a ball to him. But the thing is, like our offense just looked like you can tell what it was. You can tell what the play was going to be, and within any second. Justin Fields, I give him props he tried. I give him props for the throws he did to to GP, to George Pickens. You know, also that play where there was like interference. Honestly, I guess the little bit of push that he did off of Jesse Bates' shoulder was what they threw the flag on. But at the same time, Jesse Bates was also kind of pushed, like after reaching past that 5-yard line, he was actually, putting his hands on George Pickens as well. So, but with that call, hey, you can't really do anything. You gotta let the refs do the refs. It's pretty BS, but it's whatever, you know.
Well,
Do I?
That's good because I think there's some BS. We'll talk about it in the next minute here on some roughing the passer calls. But you're right. You just gotta let the refs be the refs, and I think George Pickens showed that he can be that guy. He just
just imagine we had a good quarterback because he's Justin Fields right now. If you want the honest opinion, he played like a player that just graduated from JV and they put him on varsity.
I feel like he's never really been given that confidence. So, like, he played for a team that never really stacked the team around him. The second they're shipping him out, they load the squad up. Here, he's announced QB2. Then he gets shuffled in QB1. I think just give the guy some
just give him some time to grow. Yeah,
a couple weeks, and he'll be all right. And then one of the biggest things, I think, and we only got a few seconds of that time, but TJ Watt is absolutely electric for your Steelers. He was all over the place. Every play I was looking is TJ Watt back. So he had a strip sack fumble that got overturned, which then turned into Kyle Pitts' first touchdown. So maybe Kyle Pitts is back in action. But TJ Watt was huge for your boys. That's for
sure.
He's
a monster.
Any last closing words on the Steelers before we move on? What's the record going to be for the year? What are we expecting out of your boys?
Listen, man, 12. Winning 12 games? We'll probably lose just 4. All right.
12-4, so 12-5. We'll give it 12-5. Let's see. That's a bold call. I called the Broncos getting 4 wins. So I'm the opposite. I'll go the opposite. I'll go 5-12 for the Broncos.
Why? God.
I don't know. Because now when they win any more than 5, I'll be happy. Yeah,
listen, that's not even my team. I just like Bo Nix. I think they're gonna win more than that.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. We'll maybe get first pick and get to do something with this squad.
I got one question.
I'm listening.
Why can't y'all just take Russell back and give us Bo Nix? Because
we've given you enough. You get him for free, basically. So that's enough.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Y'all still y'all still paying that large.
We're paying him to sit on the bench. He's not even playing for you guys either. We're just paying him to hang out.
He finessed both of us, man.
Yeah, he's got us in the bag, man. He's got her. Moving on. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the roughing the passer calls. We've seen a lot of that coming up in the Mahomes game with Lamar. We see it here and there all throughout the season. I think it's good what they're doing, trying to protect quarterbacks. But I think the rule needs to be fixed at the line. These roughing the passer calls on the sideline, the defense needs to be allowed to I think, shove these guys out of bounds. And you see these flags getting thrown for a little push on the sideline and stuff. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I think it's shenanigans because I've seen countless times in the past. I've seen Mahomes, especially Mahomes, and I don't just want to single him out, but he's like done it the most that I've seen, where he'll literally run like he's running to the sideline and then like shuffle, step, stop, run for a couple more yards. And it's like, well, no, like the defender has to be able to shove him out because otherwise he's going to do that. And if you can't shove him out, to me, that's got to be solved. I get the protecting the hits in the backfield and etc. But these sideline plays it's absolutely unfair, in my opinion.
I agree. I partially agree with you with certain things. The only thing that I agree with you, man. The only thing I would add to that actually was the fact that when the players kind of already go out a little bit and you kind of like shove them and they're already out of bounds. Okay, like that's uncalled for, because like today I observed that in the game. I forget what game it was. I saw that happen. And with the whole Mahomes thing, there's a lot of there's a lot of players that's starting to have these little gimmicks of they're about to step out, but they do some little shifty stuff.
They know that the rule protects them, right? So to me, it's almost like cheating, where I think you have to have one of two things. Either the defender should be allowed to push him because he's seen several times where he just stepped on the white line and he pushed him. Well, he's already going in for that play or that hit or whatever. Now he knows he has to let off, but I still feel like they should be allowed to finish the push. Now, maybe it's like if they're past the white line and they're out of bounds and now you're shoving them, okay, that's maybe a little gone too far, but that goes for any player, whether it's the running back or the receiver. You see them get way out of bounds, they shove them way late. No, but this right on the line stuff is it's unfair. Or you have to make it so that, like, if a quarterback pretends to go out and then doesn't, like 10-yard penalty, lose the down, you're going backwards because. I mean, there's every incentive for them to just fake it and try to draw a penalty. Or
you remember back in the day when players just get shoved right into the Gatorade juice?
Yeah. You gotta love that shit. Shove them right into their own team.
That was the days, man. That was the days.
Love it. Well, we could get into obviously roughing the passer. We know where I stand on it. I think that it should be something that gets adjusted on the sideline, and we should let these guys be shoved out a little. But I want to go into the Bush League beatdown of the day. Obviously, the Saints just taking an absolute whooping over the Panthers. Panthers come in. You're hoping to maybe see a little something different, and they show that they are still probably the worst team in the NFL, even fresh out of a draft. Right? They didn't have their new running back playing this week. He's out for, I guess, a couple weeks. He wasn't put on the IR, but I think NFI list, so he'll be out for 3 to 4 weeks still. But I don't think that would have made much of a difference because it was their defense that just let Carr and the Saints walk all over him last night. Sorry.
Man, Derek Carr was. I did not expect that performance from him, but as for the Panthers,
better than they give him credit for, man. He's better. He's definitely better than they give him credit for.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, with the Panthers, man, with Bryce Young, I used to say he was on the wrong team, but I know this is still the week 1, but it's like he's done terrible. Like, he hasn't done that good, and it's like, but also, I also think, he was brought into a team that didn't really have that much, I'd say, much help.
No, for sure. But I see, like, you watching last night's game, like, say, Adam Thielen, he's a veteran that knows how to play and et cetera. They got cool pieces around him. And he definitely overthrew quite a few passes where I was like, oof, like, you got to kind of get those done, even as a young quarterback. There was a bit of stuff where I'm like, oh, those are kind of on him. Like, those plays should be getting done. I know that field goal they scored at the end of the second half broke 9 scoreless quarters for them, ending last season, going into this year, almost just over 2 games without getting basically a single point on the board. And this game, they end up getting a touchdown. I think Bryce Young ran one in a little later in the game, but he's got to get some of those throws done, and maybe it'll be helpful when they get Brooks to run alongside him and switch up that offense a little bit. But they're going to need to pick it up because getting dominated like that, the guys won't be keeping their job very long. That's for sure.
Oh no, man. They're going to see it's a big problem because last year was an issue, and I just hope Bryce Young tightens up, man, because the Panthers need the help. The Panthers used to be a really good team when they had Cam Newton. I just hope this kid can prevail as well.
Yeah, no, you want to see young talent. You want to see the cream rise to the top because it's in another situation like Justin Fields where you got a good guy and he doesn't really have a good team around him and is
yeah.
I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
But, a couple more topics before we roll on into the next one. Some fantasy topics of who we want to start Monday. But before we get into who we want to start Monday night, I know one of the big things, we touch on a few things, but Harrison Jr. is who we all thought we wanted to start this week. And we didn't see nothing from him. Kyler Murray, they take a loss against the Bills. It was a good game. They early on, it looked like they were going to take it, but Harrison Jr. absolutely just invisible for basically the whole game. We didn't really see him.
He was open, man. He was like open at a play, and he just was overlooked. And I'm like the guy's right there, but hey, I'm pretty sure he was pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been. He got 2 or 3 targets. You think you're going to be feeding your number one guy and giving him the opportunity 6, 7, 8 times. You would think he's touted as the wide right run on the team. And obviously they got James Conner and some guys in the backfield. We end up seeing a lot of Trey Benson as well, which for some people was early on was like, wait a minute, is Conner going to play? He ended up getting a couple points and some few big runs late. But yeah, Harrison Jr., not what we expected to see out of him.
Yeah, man, that 1 reception and 4 yards. I know that's gotta hurt some people's
Oh
hearts.
yeah, I definitely got a 1.4, and it's gonna be tough to beat a couple people because I was drafting him everywhere.
He's not the only one that got some shitty receptions today.
There's
one more guy.
Who's the main man? Who's the guy?
Terry McLaurin.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't have as big of hopes for Scary Terry, but yeah, he definitely wasn't all that great either. I much out of Washington.
I don't even honestly, personally, I think there are things that happen. I would say between a quarterback connection and receiver connection, or something on the team on the sideline. That's just me and my opinion. But I just think he was extremely disrespected that game, because for like the first half, he was not throwing the ball at all. He was not targeted. And actually, he was targeted. But it just, the minute they were going to throw him the ball was when he couldn't get open, and they were on him like freaking yellow on mac and cheese, and I just think, like, if you have your number one guys, like, for example, like teams that use their, receiver ones, and they always like how the Steelers today, was chucking the ball many times to George Pickens, and like that right there, brother, like, that right there, I can honestly say was how a team, a quarterback should use their receiver ones. How they use,
give them the ball and give them a chance to make the play. That's why you paid the big bucks for.
Yeah. McLaurin and Harrison today was a bad example.
That's fair. We burnt the whole 3 minutes on talking about guys who already played. We didn't even get to who we should start Monday. So we're going to extend the clock for a couple minutes. We're going to roll it. That's why we got the clocker. We'd ramble for 57 minutes on the wrong topic. But going into the Monday night game, I think this one's almost going to be a bit of a no-brainer. I don't know how much fantasy advice will really give anyone, but if you got Garrett Wilson, he's probably still sitting in one of your wide right spots, and you're definitely starting him. Other than that, if you're looking for who to start, maybe you got Ayuk and Debo on a team. I think it's Ayuk is the guy to start this week. He just signed the contract. They're going to be using Debo like they always do, but I think we're just going to see the same San Francisco come out. Debo's going to get fed. Ayuk and Kittle, 2 of the 3 are going to have a big night. One isn't. I think we're looking at a big night for Ayuk, a big night for Kittle. And so that's where I'm leading. But again, if you got Garrett Wilson or Ayuk, I mean, you're probably starting Garrett Wilson. He's the reason he was drafted in the first round of most sleeper drafts this year. And the other guys were going a little later, maybe around 4, 5, 6, depending on what kind of league you're running.
I would start.
You starting Purdy? If you had to start, oh no worries. But if you had to start Purdy or Rodgers, you were in a bind. You're going to waivers after. Who are we picking up before it's too late? Rodgers. I have a feeling Rodgers is going to be sneaky good this year. He's getting drafted like as not even drafted in some leagues, or a QB3. I mean, if he's Aaron Rodgers of the old,
I'm picking Purdy. The reason why I'm picking Purdy, man, is because Rodgers just looks like a guy, if he gets hit a bit too hard, something's going to break.
No, he's getting feeble in his old age. That's fair.
He's good. He's a good QB. I'm not knocking it. He's just, brother, you're old.
That's fair.
Your gears are slowing down.
That's fair. No, it's you're not in the wrong there. And I guess the last topic we have for the day is Cleveland cooked? And I guess that's the question: is Deshaun Watson coming back from his episode of infinite amounts of free tuggies to having to do it himself and pulling his shoulder? Can he come back and be the guy he used to be before all of that? And I was really hoping to see it. I was drafting him late, targeting Watson in many leagues, and not liking what I see. Jerome Ford didn't do what I expected. I expected him to get the ball heavy and be the main man, and maybe make it questionable for if Chubb was even going to be needed come week 5. But we didn't really see much from Cleveland today. And Amari Cooper with a couple of plays, but just a subpar showing all around for Cleveland Browns today as they get absolutely dominated by Tampa today.
Yeah, man. I don't like the Browns.
That's fair.
But one thing I can honestly, I'll take that away. I'll put my pride aside. To be frank with you, Deshaun Watson, I think him losing a family member is a bit of what affected him from performing kind of a bit. I think his head wasn't clear. For Jared Jeudy, I saw that he scored his first touchdown with the Browns. Amari Cooper did really good. And Njoku, I wanted him to get – he actually performed pretty good today.
He took that big hit later in the game, and I know he was carted off. He didn't return to the game, and replaying it seemed like it might be a hand issue. He took a helmet. Like, the guy led coming in with the helmet. If it didn't hit his hand, it would have crushed him right in the head, probably been out for concussion protocol. But that helmet to the hand is – I wouldn't be surprised if there's a broken bone in the hand.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I hope he's okay, man.
Me too, because I drafted him everywhere. He was kind of my late sleeper tight end for this season.
He's a good tight end, man. He's pretty
player.
good.
I thought he would be super useful to Watson this year, and so it's hopefully again to everyone.
Would you say he's top 5 tight end?
No, but top 10. I was hoping to see a top 10 out of him this year, but who knows? I mean, the things are changing drastically, like we talked about earlier. Andrew's falling off the face of the planet, and one thing that we talked about Rodgers and that, but maybe it's the last chance for anybody to go grab Tyler Conklin, another tight end who I think could be sneaky good this year. But it's sad to see Njoku go down.
I honestly think, man, the Browns they'll adjust. Just like other teams need to adjust, at first when they all get together and they have some new players. I think they'll adjust. Deshaun Watson, I wish him the best of luck. He needs to get better because not everybody likes him. There's a lot of reasons why people don't like him, and I think he needs to do something on the field, to redeem himself.
That's man. Fair. Well, sweet. We made it through. We got through all the topics. We went a little early today because we were a little started up a little later than usual, but that was a good combo, and I think we touched on a few things. Maybe a couple people can take a few things from throughout the show for their fantasy lineups for next week. And I think we'll really get into, usually by about week 4, I really like to think I know what's going on with fantasy football this week. A lot of stories emerge. It's just, will they last for 2-3 weeks? And I think it was a good show to kick off the season. I appreciate you coming and joining us this week, Jason.
I appreciate you having me. It's always
your Steelers 1-0, Broncos 0-1. We'll see who's closer to guessing their team's record or not this year, but it'll be interesting to see where it all shakes out.
Yeah, man, I think we'll do pretty good. I think we'll see, like you just said, even with fantasy, but even with the league as well. Like, a lot of things will probably change around the 4 or 5 week of the league, because you'll probably have some players come back from injuries. You probably have some players come back from suspension. You also have probably trades and stuff like that before the deadline and stuff like that. So I know there's probably slight changes. Even players that are behind the starters are probably going to start starting, so we'll see a little bit about that, man.
All right. Well, that was a great one, Drees. I appreciate you joining us for the week. And I think we covered basically everything. We even touched on a little CFL. Your guys got their first win of the year. My Broncos got their first loss, kind of the outcomes we expected. But I know next week we want to kind of break down a few more things with some of the fantasy, how it's all shaken out, and some of these contracts. And I know there was something we said earlier. We're going to do a whole show on it in the future. And my fried ass forgets what that is. But we'll come next week. We'll dial everybody in, and we'll know a little bit more about where everything's sitting. And of course, with the fantasy sports league I'm doing, we'll have a little bit of a little bit of camaraderie, a little bit of beacon going on between communities, as we'll have our first wins and losses between Bush League Media, AccuTires, Vayner Sports, Shredding Sassy, Bam Bam's Fitness, and Not Okay Bears. So we got that Web3 tourney going, and be excited to see.
That's a big crew.
Who gets them losses, baby.
Let's go. I appreciate you having me, man.
No, I appreciate you doing it with me, and it's good to get be surrounded by Steelers fans. Trav, who co-hosts with the football or hockey show with me, he's another Steelers fan, so I'll just be surrounded by you guys all year. So I may as well just pick my own team early, and then nothing you guys say can hurt me.
Just convert, bro. It's not too late.
Hey, man, I've always told some of my buddies the Steelers are like my closet second favorite team. So, maybe I will one day. You never know.
Oh, man. I can't wait for that day. Oh, my God.
It's coming, baby. But no, thank you, brother, and we'll catch you next week. We'll do it again.
Appreciate you, my man. Have a good night, man.
You too. Take care, brother.
All right, brother.
Sweet. And for everybody joining us, thank you for joining another episode of the Bush League Sports Monday Morning Football Show. We will be back next week, get you locked in with everything that went on in week 2, get you dialed in for that Monday nighter, and bring you a little bit of fantasy knowledge to help you win those leagues. So until next week, stay Bush League, you beauties.
From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. Tell them never question, dog, I'm sitting goat status. Eating chicken with my gin, smoking on some cabbage. Used to pedal on this
moment where you skate down the street and some shit brain yells out of his window, "Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip!"
And house shoes, they know how the dog do. Skinny, heavy pockets, the West OG. Came across the globe, say they don't know me. Been applying pressure from 8 to 24 like Kobe. Mr. Hall of Fame used to bend the corners with strollies. Had to lay the blueprint, they rolled out the carpet. Anything I wanna own, I got my own market. Blew this, blew that, everything beautiful. Still ain't sold my guns and I still ain't had to use them though. Was once a hard head, now I'm counting blessings. I made my own way, still they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions.
This is some straight, hey.
This is, oh gosh.
I got thin to smoke it.
Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. I can't name a thing that I didn't have step. From the streets to movie screens, been getting bags and checks. Get the solid, you won't hear me with no bad rep. Legendary Crippin' made it happen, and that's on the set. Still rolling on gold things, I'm a boss. Go get it, what the fuck you waiting on, man? Let's go.
Blaming on my mom from all the crippin' I see. Blaming on my grandpa, all the hustling.
Yes, sir.